Welcome everyone to Bonifabcustom. Today we're building a knife, a titanium knife for testing, destructive testing, my favorite kind of testing. Let's get right into it. So the main reason for this video is a destructive testing on a titanium knife. I got a lot of grief on my last video about that I didn't test my titanium survival knife. Now that titanium survival knife was made for a customer, and I don't make it a habit of destroying a knife before I give it to my customer. Testing on my knives was done years ago when I was first starting to make titanium knives. Now I already know how to make one properly so it can withstand certain things. So I just wanted to do this video, make sure that the way I'm making it, whoever's watching knows that it can take certain types of abuse. And we're gonna test that in this video. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna forge a piece of 6Al4V titanium. I just have a block, and we'll forge it, draw it out, and forge it to the shape of a knife, and then we can start our testing. So we have our forging of our titanium knife. It's basically gonna have a simple edge on here and probably gonna make a little bit of a point here so we can try to see if we can break this off. And I'm not gonna finish anything on here and put a handle because basically we're doing it to the point of basically destroying it. So let's get into putting an edge and sanding it, and then we can get into our testing. Now that we have our shape basically ground out, we milled the sides a little bit, and then I ground them down. And I ground it's really a dull edge on the surface, the front, so then we can use that for our cutting edge. And I wanted the back to be kind of parallel because we're gonna be pressing this in our vise. Now, we're gonna first start off with cutting aluminum. My thumbnail on my titanium knife, my survival knife video, was me cutting cutting aluminum with it, and that struck a chord with some people. Now you physically can't, or nobody can physically take a knife and push it right through a piece of aluminum. It's just, you need too much force to do that. So we're gonna take our 60-ton iron worker, the press end, and we're gonna take 60 tons of pressure, and we're gonna cut through a block of aluminum. Now we're gonna use these offcuts I have. They're made out of 6061 aluminum, and we're gonna try to chop through. And if it does chop through, we're gonna just chop a whole bunch of them and then take a look at how the edge holds up. So we're gonna try and cut this using this edge right here. And we're basically gonna hold it, and I'm gonna use the iron worker to push down through the aluminum. So let's see if we can actually cut this. Still got the same edge there. And it's actually hot. A lot of force there to cut that right through. Right through. And same, didn't really change much, the shape of it. Same. So the aluminum block cut test went very well. The edge, I cut about, I'd say about 50 pieces in half. Now this is 1/2 inch thick aluminum. It is a strong aluminum. 6061 is a really strong aluminum. I cut some crossways, which is about 1.25 inches, and I cut some lengthwise, about 1.25 inches lengthwise. I cut big pieces, small pieces, basically all in the same spot right here within this 1.5 inches, and the edge didn't even move. Still the same edge, and it's not even a sharp edge. It's basically a dull edge I put on here, so even harder for it to cut through the aluminum. So it withstood that. Looks really good. I'd say it could cut aluminum like butter, no problem, if you had 60 tons of force behind you to cut it. Now, next test I want to do is I want to take a 2-pound sledgehammer. I'm going to put this in the vise, and I'm going to smash the side of this knife to see if it distorts or breaks, and we'll just see what happens with it. So first of all, let's just see if it's pretty flat. Sits pretty good on this side here. So let's just mark. So we know which side we're hitting on when we put it in our vise. another type of hit with this sludge, and we're gonna hit it this way across both halves. Didn't bend. Still looks pretty good. So after taking the sledgehammer, putting this in the vise and smashing it, no noticeable marks on the outside. It didn't bend at all. It just bounced around in there. Super strong. I even put it across the two jaws, smashed it across the two quite a few times, and nothing. I don't even have marks of the hammer inside there. The surface is extremely hard and it's very, very tough, as you can see. Now, I'm gonna smash this from the back through a couple of pieces of wood, 4x4s. And one of them, the first one I'm gonna do is just a piece of softwood. And then the second one, I'm gonna try a piece of hardwood, and we'll see if this edge holds up, because the edge is pretty sharp here. But we'll see how it holds up with me smashing this through there. Let's do it. The edge is exactly how I ground it. Didn't even move. Edge did not even dull out at all. So it hammered right through both those 4x4s, the softwood, the hardwood. As you can see, it split the softwood. And the hardwood was a little harder to get through, but smashed it through, smashed it sideways to get it out. No problem. And on top of that, I wanted to really see how this edge was, and I smashed it into a piece of solid 1/2 inch 6061 aluminum bar. And I probably got in there maybe 1/4 inch, maybe. You need a lot of force to get this through a piece of aluminum. And nothing happened to the edge at all. The edge is still perfect. Very surprising. I thought that was going to wreck the edge there, but actually it didn't do anything at all. And even if you look at the back where I hammered it with that sludge, nothing. It did nothing. It didn't fold over the edge. It didn't mushroom it, nothing. I'm really happy with that test. So how can we break this thing safely? I'm not too sure. And I don't want to hurt myself trying to do something and it shatters and hurts me. But overall, the integrity of a titanium knife is really good, especially when it's forged like this. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. So I hope some of you are satisfied with the results. But if you have any questions of maybe a test you want me to do, something that would be safe, so I can, break this test piece, by all means, put it in the comments and I'll try it out and I'll put it out on a video for you. Thanks again for watching Bonifabcustom as we tested this titanium blank or titanium knife that we made specifically for testing. But I thank you for all your support with the channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and we'll see you later on in the week.